Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to the 24/7 news report. We're going to bring you up to speed with all the latest news and transfer rumours from the last couple of days. And there's a lot to get through because, silly season's well and truly underway now. I think we saw the last club all about a week ago now, so there's nothing on that front to report apart from transfer rumours. And that's when silly season really goes into overdrive. And we'll start with one that I'm not surprised that there's been linked regarding Jordan Pickford leaving Everton. I'm not 100% sure whether it'll happen or not. But one thing's for sure, the Daily Mirror have reported that he's been linked with a move to Man United for 45 million. I think it's very, very much on the low ball inside. We did a poll on the Toffee Blues Twitter account, and there was we're about 10 hours left still on the poll. We've got about 67% saying no to selling them for that price. 26% says yes. Now, I think 45 million is probably like the top end of what we might have been able to sell him for if we got relegated. However, I think for a side still in the Premier League, I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I think it's really way too low for a goalkeeper of Jordan Pickford's caliber. Not to mention England's number one. English players tend to have premium attached to them. We're talking about Declan Rice potentially moving for about 100, 120 million in the media. The record price for a goalkeeper, I think, is kept for about 75 million. Definitely command that kind of price for him. Okay, we're lower down the league, but Declan Rice is playing for the side who also finished in the bottom half. Yet they've won a European trophy, but if you look at the league, if we're going by league position, there's not a great deal between us. Um, yeah, 100 million for Declan Rice, but Jordan Pickford, we should be looking for around 75, 80 million. I think if we are to sell Jordan Pickford, it has to break the transfer record for a goalkeeper. And yeah, 45 million is an absolute insult. We should be telling them where to go if that's true. But as I said, came from Daily Mirror, so probably not true. This is the same article at the same publication that's been recently saying the fans have been vicious and the usual spin for their friends in the chairman's seat, and enough to stick the knife into our supporters. So when you think about how they report with regards to our club, I wouldn't just take this with a pinch of salt, take it with a very big handful of salt. Yeah, we'll leave that one at that because I think that there's not no discussion to be had at that price regarding Jordan Pickford leaving Everton. That it shouldn't be even considered. Moving on, and you'll be surprised that the media are really like going in hard on us this summer. Ev- you can see that the club's a perfect storm. There's a lot of like negative stories surrounding us, and I can't say this is a particularly positive compilation that I'm going to be giving you today. The next one, Iwobi. I think there's been rumours about us offering him a 100k a week contract, which I think is a bit obscene, to be honest with you. But he's come out and said he wants to play in the Champions League, and he's saying, you know, I've got a lot to prove with my football, and I want to play in the Champions League. I've tasted it before, and I want to do it again. That came from Brilla FM, which is come through Nigerian channels, SoccerNet Nigeria. I put that out there. I don't know what he's smoking. Um, does have a lot to prove with his football. He's got a point there. But if he wants to play in the Champions League, he needs to prove that at Everton, and he needs to deliver. Like he did okay this season, but he's not done Champions League well, has he? Let's be honest. If he did, we wouldn't have been anywhere near the trouble we were in. He'd have been, creating double figures, getting a few more goals. I think he does offer a lot to the team, but he's also kind of been shoved out of position under Sean Dyche. So maybe Dyche might consider cashing in on him. I don't know, but he certainly proved over the years that as good as he can be on his day, he's just not Champions League caliber. So I think it's probably his last chance to prove what he wants to prove. But he's got to go and do it next season. But he's into the last year of his contract. Mentioned there 100k a week been bandied around. Stay with him financially is not a wise move to be offering that kind of money. I would actually cash in personally, rather than offer him that money. Just sell him on, rebuild, find someone else who does what he does for a lower price. I can guarantee you that much. Um, there's a poll out on the Toffee Blues Twitter account for this one as well. 3 hours left to run on that one. This is the most on the fence. This one, 45% have said yes, offering him a new contract. Now, I'm not sure whether that refers to at that salary, the 100k a week. I think a lot of people will be saying that on the condition that it's a lot lower than that, especially considering the condition the club's in financially. 37.5% said no to offer him a new contract. Now, if the conditions were right, I think we could offer him a new contract, and I think he does offer something. But if he doesn't meet those conditions with us, we've got to do it on our terms. If he says no to those terms, then we should cash in this summer. I don't know, he's only got 1 year left to run. I'd be selling him. Like I say, there's other players who could do the same job, does less money. He's done well the last year or two, better than he did before. Not quite as much under Dyche. He's been pushed out of position, like I say. So I think the time might be right for him to move on. If Dyche wants to bring someone different in, and if we want to cut costs, then that might be a possibility. Um, another potentially negative story. We've been linked heavily with Victor Gyökeres, who plays for Coventry. They narrowly missed out on promotion, and obviously the rumours have come out about him moving to the Premier League and elsewhere, saying Everton and Brighton, who are obviously Brighton are his former club, Coventry signed them from there. Everton and Brighton are in the race, but he prefers a move to Sporting in Portugal, Sporting CP. And if that rumour has come out of Portugal, so make of that what you will. It came from Abola, and they think that Sporting lead the race to sign Gyökeres, which is a blow because he's been so heavily linked with Everton for about a year now. And he did really well in the Championship. I think it's the type of signing Everton should be making. It'd be disappointing if we missed out on him. And that shows in the poll that we did on Gyökeres on our Twitter account as well. Most unanimous one of the lot. With 30 minutes left to run on this poll, 88% said yes, signing him, and only 4% said no. And that tells you how desperate we are for a centre forward. And we really could do getting Hiker in the door early doors, get someone in for pre-season, maybe pre-season kicked off in less than a month now. We need to get our skates on, but as you'll see in the rest of this show, there's a lot of factors involved. Guardian we're moving on to now because Guardian have had a lot to say on the Everton front recently, and a lot of the remaining articles are from them. On the note of centre forwards, Sean Dyche said he's after 2 new forwards. He doesn't want to have to rely on the fitness record of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, which is sensible. But equally, a lot of people are saying that the boardroom turmoil and the uncertainty over the next step in terms of ownership is really hindering our um, pursuit of new players or making moves both in and out of the club, and that's really, really going to hurt us next season if we don't hurry up and get that done. And yeah, that's really disappointing. Um, we've got one from Jacob Steinberg in the Guardian saying Chelsea after Onana, they've made checks. They say. And I don't know what that means. They've made checks. Does that mean they've scouted him? Does that mean they're illegally tapping him up? Does that mean they've sent us an offer? We don't know. I mean, we don't really know what that means. And you know, we know Onana's probably going to have some potential suitors this summer. He could be one of the most sellable assets. We could end up needing to cash in on him. But yeah, there's not a lot to take out of that article apart from the fact that Chelsea might be one of the potential destinations. They've got a lot of money to throw around. Let's be honest. It'd be nice if we could like price up a little bit, but I don't think there's a lot much more to take from that article. I don't really know what that means. Um, we can all make checks on things, but doesn't mean we're going to get them done. Yeah, we'll leave that one to that. To be honest, one more not from the Guardian actually. Bills in Germany have said that Jean-Philippe Gbamin wants to return to Germany, and yeah, go for it, mate. Only 1 year left on his very expensive contract that we've got very little out of. If we can get a small fee for him, why not? I'd be happy to let him leave for a very nominal fee this stage after the the fiasco we've had with him. Moved to Russia, moved to Turkey. He's been a turbulent time for him. Let him go back to Germany and do whatever he wants and get him off our books and save a bit of money. Um, some more potential back to the Guardian now, and more potential departures. We've got rumours that the uncertain futures regarding Ben Godfrey, Michael Keane, and Mason Holgate, all players who were pretty poor last season, that they could be on the way out of Everton. And if the price was right, I don't think we complain about any of these players leaving because it's yeah, I think Keane and Holgate in particular have been around for a long time now and haven't done good enough. Godfrey's been a bit unlucky with injuries, but he's also looked like he isn't really kicking on the way we'd have liked him to have done. Certainly, his decision making at times was a bit questionable. I think if the right money came in for any of those players, I will cash in. Jared Brantwaite's just come back off his loan from PSV. We've got Tarkowski. We'll probably be looking to bring a new defender in as well. I'd say two of those three could go this summer. Ideally, Keane and Holgate, I think, and maybe keep Godfrey around for a bit longer. But definitely, I'd like to see two of those three players leave, whoever they may be, this summer. Finally, and this is the last one from the Guardian as well, a big story on the boardroom turmoil, of course. Bill Kenwright, they say, will leave and interim replacements will be put in place. However, unfortunately, because Kenwright's future is still unresolved, it's delaying the MSP towards capital investment. And that is stuff for the club because we need to get that done ASAP. And Bill Kenwright, as usual, is hanging his club out to dry. No surprises there. It's absolutely disgusting. He's run the club into the ground for 24 years and he wants to, drag us through the mud one last time before he let the door slam behind him when he leaves. Fingers crossed. But not much longer to go, hopefully. We'll just see what happens, but it needs to be resolved. I said it needs to be resolved by about this weekend, but it looks like it's going to be another week because, Everton can't ever do anything on time. We know about the infamous 48-hour deadline from earlier on this week. So there's a lot of nonsense going on in this respect. And the sooner Bill Kenwright gets out of Everton Football Club, the better. And the sooner we can get this investment in and a new board in place, the sooner we can get down to the important stuff that we discussed earlier on in this show, like getting some signings in, getting some signings out, rebuilding the squad ready for the new season because we need to do much better next season and try and avoid the heartache of the last two that we've been through. We need that. On that note, they also say MSP plan to appoint their own directors in this article. Local businessman George Downing and Andy Bell have been heavily linked. They say they're expected to join the board, but the Guardian don't specify which capacity, which roles that those two individuals will be taking on. But yeah, like I say, it all comes down to how soon Kenwright can get out of the club and allow the new board to take shape. Again, it's all on him, and he's deciding to strangle the club a bit further. Apparently to try and get a bit of a higher sale of his shares, perhaps. We don't know, but if he genuinely did care about the club, he would have sold them up at whatever price, got out of the club, let the club heal and rebuild. We need to get that done now, and give this club a chance season to pick on and do better, and avoid the pain and suffering that we've had to endure the last couple of years. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Like I say, there'll be plenty more news articles getting bandied around in the next week or so. So there'll be probably be a few more of these 24/7 reports coming out. Yeah, so be sure you tune in for all of those. As far as the ones we've covered in this one, give us your comments, give this video a like, and like I say, subscribe for more content that'll be coming up as well. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching on the Toffee Blues.